Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shemi Hawashai, Shemar Kakadash. And I want to say Shalom to Knockout out there, doing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And this one's going to be titled E will use AI as the ultimate tool of deception. All right. E will use AI as the ultimate tool of deception. Now, I originally had a different title for this, but iCloud Notes, all right, the notes program that you can use on your iPhone, you can also access it online. It's fucking sucks sometimes. Sometimes it'll look like it saved everything, and then it won't. And while I was at work, I put this together, and I had a good title on it, and for some reason, when I first started writing it, I just wrote AI. So I came back and it was back to just the original AI. So well, no, I changed the title. But it doesn't say. I wish there was a save function. I wish I could just hit save. I wish there was one of these buttons where I could just hit save and it would just save it. But unfortunately, there's not a feature like that. And but the title's okay. If something comes to me in post or throughout the lesson, I'll try to write it down to switch it out because like I said, the title's just all right. I mean, it's straightforward. You know what the lesson's about. But I like the one I had originally. Unfortunately, I just can't remember it. But yeah, E will use AI as the ultimate tool of deception, or E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool. Um, so I think I'm gonna change it to that right now, at least. E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool. I like that a little bit better. And there even a space. There's a space. But and of course, we got the snake because that's what Esau is, a serpent, snake. We're gonna be talking about that too. So, for those that aren't in the know, of course, there's a lot of people that aren't as on the internet as much as some of us are. I'm more of the techie type guy. I pretty much, other than doing my lessons and, doing, stuff for this truth, my form of entertainment hobbies, I'm just on my computer, or, Xbox or, Steam Deck or something playing, video games or browsing on Reddit for fun and multiple communities, gaming communities, and um, finding out what the new games are, what things are dropping, different things. And I also check out Popular. That's where I get a lot of my lessons from. And through these, whether it's through Popular, through the pages, I've seen a lot of AI stuff. And those for those that are not in the know, they recently dropped a program called a new version of Sora. Now, Sora is a program. I believe it's made by OpenAI. It is. All right, it is. OpenAI, and those of you that don't know, OpenAI is made by um, OpenAI is made by ChatGPT. Salakia is made by OpenAI. All right, as you can see, the same logo. Now, there's pros and cons. All right, of AI. All right, AI can be very useful. I mean, at the end of the day, you're dealing with essentially spirits. Really, I mean, it doesn't mean that using it is wrong. The apostles use it. All right, there are examples of what would be okay and okay not to do. They have a lot of wisdom through Yahweh Shem Shai that they've gathered over the years, and AI is good and bad. I've been in a bout where I've been trying to wanting to slow down on AI, just because I feel like AI, over reliance on AI makes your mental acuity. See, what's the word? Acuity. Mental. Let me see. Mental acuity. Acuity. That's the word. Mental acuity. Um, I feel like it makes your mental acuity slow down a bit, right? And I mean, your mental acuity, it really feels like it slowed down. For me, it's felt like it's, I don't know. It could just because getting older or whatnot, but it could be, and I'm not too old, 30, almost 30, but um, I really noticed it after I got the, how do I say it? after I caught the vid 2 times. Like each time, they say it lingers around brain fog, right? And it's just a fucking bioweapon, all right, at the end of the day. But I felt like my mental acuity kind of declined after that, right? I feel like it's not I'm not as I'm not saying I'm fucking dumb or anything, but I don't feel like I'm as needle sharp, as I could be. And I notice a lot of people have been, when people get using AI a lot, that can happen. Over reliance on AI or over reliance on technologies can do that. So I try to do things that stimulate the brain. I do a lot of thinking and stuff like that. I like to play. Uh, Sometimes I like to play games that encourage thought. There's like Bejeweled. If you don't know that game, it's you'll know it when I show it to you. Jeweled. It looks like this. All right, and it's basically just a puzzle game. You gotta match, 3 in a row or 4 in a row, at least 3 in a row, and you move them out there. You can play it on pretty much anything. They have it on your phone. You can get it on Steam. You can get it anywhere. So sometimes I like to play games like that. There's a puzzle game, like a crossword puzzle. I can't remember what it's called. Let me see if I still have it installed on my phone. There's one I have just called Search. Let me see if I click on. I'm not gonna play it because it's Sabbath. But let me see if it has a full name when it starts up. Wordscape Search. All right, Wordscape Search. Um, or you can just get Wordscapes in general. I kind of, Wordscapes is cool. Um, but you can see, you have to, find words out of a thing like this. But Wordscape Search, a little bit more demanding. I feel it's just a crossword puzzle. All right, but you got to find these different things, and I haven't played that in a while, but it came to mind. I still have it installed on my phone, but I like to play games like that, or RPGs or certain things like that. Or I've been playing a game called Stronghold. I'm not just telling you about what I'm doing. I just just giving advice and stuff. It's good to exercise the mind. And Stronghold is what they call a real time strategy. You build up a castle and fortifications and stuff like that. Older game, but there's a remastered-ish version, a couple different remasters of it. And it's good. I guess I'm just saying that and putting that out there to say, it's good as, to make sure you're exercising the brain. All right. And the other thing is like why I feel, probably like my mental acuity is down is because first of all, it's like midnight and then I've been working all day. It's, I've been having to do more this week than normally because I had to take over for the boss because he's out. So, that's probably where the mental acuity. I feel sharper during the day, but of course you ain't gonna be as sharp when you're tired. But and I noticed that a while ago, with the feeling you're like you're not as quick-witted. If you feel like that, hey, I recommend, you go and, maybe stop using the AI so much, and I use it for other things in lessons. I'll ask it. And it's because the Google search, and they've really done, a wonder on it. The Google search used to be good. Any of the brothers that remember, any of the older, brothers that are at least in their, 30s or, mid to late 20s, 25 on up, um, you'll know that Google used to be better. All right, you used to type in something on Google and you used to be able to find it. Now, half the time you type something on Google, you can't find the shit. You're trying to find information about something, you can't find it. Right? So what do? You go to ChatGPT and you can find it. Right? Because it can pull from different sources. And it's better to have it go and do the searching than here it is. I have to spend 35 minutes, looking through different, 20 different sources when this thing can pull 200 different sources in a matter of a second, right? Of course, it's going to be able to pull that information quicker, but I mean, there's certain things. Look, make sure you're exercising your mind. I guess I'm just putting that out. You brothers and sisters out there, make sure you're exercising your mind. Don't just be brain rotting all day. If you're gonna play video games, play games that have puzzle or strategy elements. All right, from time to time. All right, any game's fine to play. Right, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but try to throw try to rotate in some strategy games or some puzzle based games, right? And things that make you think. All right. And then on top of that, don't. don't just sit around, watching TV. Video games at least stimulate the brain in some shape or form. TV doesn't really give your brain any form of stimulation at all right, other than just, some minor thinking. All right, there's no problem solving that has to be done when watching TV unless maybe you're watching a Quentin Tarantino movie and you got to like think beyond the lines, right? But short little recommendation there, kind of straight off the topic. But I just wanted to throw that out there. That personally, I had that where I felt my mental acuity wasn't where I wanted it to be. So start doing things that boost it. All right, and those things would be writing back on pen and paper. All right, help. Okay, getting away from so much digital lifestyle, right? Because it's so easy. Okay, making sure you're writing more and utilizing, try to throw different words into your vocabulary every once in a while. Just different things like that, right? Just a recommendation that I felt to put that out there. But anyway, if you have been on the internet and you spend a lot of time on the internet, you probably mostly have heard Sora. Okay, Sora, of course, made by OpenAI, who also made ChatGPT. And Sora 2 is what just came out, and I guess 6 or so days ago, as it says. They had a version before, and I'll actually show you a comparison of Sora 1 versus 2. And what Sora is I'll read it from OpenAI. I'll give it to you from them. So Sora is all these videos right here are fake, right? This is all fake, okay? And a matter of fact, let's see. Bear with me. I'm gonna pause so you don't see my birthday. Um, do I not have that set up on this? 1 minute. All right. So should be in here. So did that and it got me. So meet the new Sora. Turn your ideas into video with improved motion and sound instantly. So just stay on old Sora. And then says, "Welcome to Sora. Turn ideas into images and videos. Sora is a creative tool. So please avoid harmful use, including creating explicit, violent, harassing, or deceptive content. So explore. So let's go ahead and make something. I don't know how to do it. I want to make a video, okay? And I want the video, um, a video of a, and I'll have this generate while we're doing this because I want to show you the technologies. And this is just the old version. I'm going to show you the differences. A video of a group of melanated men and women wearing biblical garments standing under a giant UFO with other UFOs in the distance and the city on fire and people panicking and panic in the distance. The men should have afroic hair and beards, and the women should have afroic hair as well. Should be hugging each other, looking hopeful. Can only be 5 seconds. Ah, okay. Well, that sucks. But let's see. Well, can I do an image? Let's see if the image is any different. All right. So while it's doing that, let's see if the image is any different. But while we're doing that, um, the first I want to get a scripture because it's been a little bit too long. But Proverbs 12:20 reads, "Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy." So these people do imagine evil. All right. Esau imagines evil. So what is in their heart? Deceit. Okay. And by definition, deceit is what? Let's go and define it. Deceit, if it will load, deceit is the action or practice of deceiving. Yeah, no shit. Concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Okay. Concealing or misrepresenting the truth. And deceiving is deliberately causing someone to believe something that is not true, especially for personal gain. Okay, and that's what they seek. They seek personal gain. All right, and that what is there to gain? Control, power. Okay, they want people to believe them even when it's wrong. Now I'm going to show you a couple of videos. Okay, this is the first one that I saw today with you know decent amount of footage from Sora 2, right? And we're gonna go and check that out. I'm gonna show you some other things. There's been a lot of video going on lately, of Sora. And what I want to show you the difference is Sora 1 versus 2. Okay. And I want to show you if I can see the video. Because yeah, so they released a video for Sora 1 when it came out, and then they did one for Sora 2, and they made it the same exact prompt, I believe. Same prompt. So these are the same videos, but one's ran through Sora 1, one's ran through Sora 2. Sora 2 just dropped like not even a week ago, right? And you might say, "Oh, it's just AI video." I'm going to show you. This is very important. This is something to watch. Okay, this is something to keep an eye on because before you could tell when something was AI. It's pretty much to the point now where you can't. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the volume up. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and let this play. This is the prompt was a group of people playing volleyball. Okay, you see how it's weird? You can tell. Oh, it doesn't even look real. It's like moon gravity, right? It doesn't look real.
Got it. Up,
Here's Sora 2.
outside.
Just came out this week. This is what it looks like. You could not tell.
I'm on it. Set. Go.
You wouldn't be able to tell that this is AI. This looks like a real video. All right, skateboarder doing a kickflip. Yeah, that don't look real at all. Yep, look at that. See how the legs are doing weird stuff? A gymnastics flip on the balance beam cinematic. See the legs, how they're morphing? Look now. Look. Look, her legs, her butt, everything. Look, it looks real, man. This is a Dalmatian definitely walks, runs, and hops its way through a complex obstacle course in Verano, Italy. Look. Wait, was that his head that just morphed into his ass? Yep, look. Wham. Look at that. Weird. Watch the next one. It's still a little weird. The next one with the dog's a little weird, a little too complex. But you see multiple tails and stuff. I mean, it kind of looks like the dog's retarded or something. He doesn't. There's some weird inconsistencies about being able to walk on water. Right? But, in certain capacities you can see, in certain capacities you can't, man. And everyone says, damn. Says, okay, we are pretty close to truly realistic. When do we get long-form videos with complex prompts? A couple years. And imagine it. This is what they're releasing to us. So what do you think they have? What do you think they have? All right, let's go and check on that photo. I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know if it's say it's better than ChatGPT, right? But I mean, it would have been great if it was a video, right? That's what I originally wanted, but it'd be cool if it was a video. But maybe one of these days I'll buy into premium or whatever to just to see. All right, just to see what it's like. But here's a couple examples of what they've been doing with it. All right, so go ahead and watch it. Oops. Here you go. Let me restart it. Check it out.
Tell the people your truth, Jake Paul.
An announcement in 3, 2, 1. Yay! I hope everybody here supports me. Here's my makeup set. Look at this.
So I am not exaggerating when I say that that video just broke reality, because that was 100% AI generated. That video never happened. Jake Paul has not come out of the closet. Jake Paul has not launched a makeup brand. Jake Paul had nothing to do with any of that. Some random person somewhere downloaded an app, used their stupid finger and typed in Jake Paul gay makeup brand. And that popped out. And then they downloaded the video, uploaded it to other forms of social media, and guess what? Hundreds of thousands of people like the video, and they're interacting with it, and a lot of them are commenting, didn't realize that was AI, because reality's dead. Reality is dead. We can't trust our initial reaction now to any piece of footage we see. It doesn't matter. Ever since I've interacted with this particular video, my entire feed is full of celebrities, many of which have been dead for a long time, doing things they've never done. Like Michael Jackson and Kobe selling flavored Zins on a live. How about Ronald Reagan opening packs of Pokemon cards? How about this? Mr. Rogers interviewing Tupac Shakur. Never happened. History is dead. We used to be able to trust old footage because it was old. Who would change that? Well, apparently Sam Altman and the other psychopaths out there have just decided that we just need to be able to twist reality and make sure that no one can ever trust archival footage again. Oh, and don't worry, they're also fucking with body cam footage. Yeah, that's right. Here's body cam footage. Isn't that terrifying? Sure, it's funny that it's Chucky right now. But just wait, give it time, because eventually, I'm sure eventually, someone will want to be able to frame somebody that they don't like. And so instead of them chasing a Chucky doll, maybe they'll be chasing you. And then that can be shown to a very old judge sitting in a courtroom as he bangs the gavel and sentences people away for ever how many years.
Yep. So, what you got to understand is how they could use this. Okay? Again, Proverbs 12 and 20, deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. So, deceit, again, meaning, telling someone a purposeful lie and usually for personal gain. What could they seek to gain? An agenda, power, control. All right, many different things. You got to realize, and I'm gonna give them. I'm not gonna give them too much, but if you can read between the lines, they could say that a certain group of people, right, that believe in something that they want to label as an extremist identity, right, that is generally a certain demographic of people, all right, went out and did something, and they have footage of it now, proof, right? Because they can train it off of people's faces. And we might not have access to put in certain prompts. They'll say, oh, sorry, we can't do anything that's copyright. The government doesn't have those hangups. Okay, you got to realize, people like Sam Altman and OpenAI, they're working directly with the U.S. government. All right, you can look that up. It's not bullshit, right? I believe it's the Department of Defense, really. But and you know what they say: the best defense is a good offense. So, what type of offenses are they going to launch? All right, in defense of themselves. Like I said, they could make anybody say this person did a terrorist attack. All right, replace that with a T. This person did a terrorist attack, and killed these people. And you have the fake bodies, and they've already done false flags and hired crisis actors, and now they can have actual footage of it, right? How long, and they're just releasing to us. How many of these events that have happened in the past were actually just AI, all right? And nobody would know. All right, nobody would know, right? They could say, oh, there's a place in I don't know, Black Killer, Alabama, right? And there was a store, all right, that existed, and someone went in there and did this event and stuff like that, and then they demolished it after or whatever. And they could have a building that was already demolished or whatever, or people might not have been familiar with, and no one would ever really be able to say, oh no, that didn't happen because they saw the footage, right? A lot of people don't live in Black Killer, Alabama. I'm just making someplace up. I know Alabama's super racist, so you know. Uh, so, how are people going to deny it? They've seen people dying. They see people crying. They see family members reaching out. All right. They see the bodies. They see the blood. They see the person getting locked away. They see, the televised news of this person in shackles, and they see it. And they see the survivors. But it's all AI. And you wouldn't know. You'd have no idea, right? Even Trump himself has been using AI. All right. And a lot of people never noticed. Okay. Trump himself has been using AI, and a lot of people haven't noticed. There's a guy that did a breakdown of one of his videos. Check this out. There's a specific thing where he's sitting down and his hands are crossed. It's this one right here. Check it out. Yep.
His pinky just disappears and then reappears
Oh.
magically.
Yeah, if you run it again, it's very hard to tell. I'm looking at it. So something wrong with his hands?
Yeah, watch the pinky on the top hand.
Oh.
Gone. That's all I need to show. All right. But yeah, man. So it's getting to a point where like the guy said, we're already. It's not getting to a point. We're already at a point where you cannot trust, like he said, archival footage. And what is archival footage? Old footage, things that are old. Footage from the 1930s. Well, it doesn't matter because now we can have, Hitler hitting the gritty, right? We can have him doing that. All right, we can we can have Hitler throwing a dab, all right, or opening up Pokemon packs, or playing Grand Theft Auto. We can have that, all right, and it'll look just like the fucking footage of that era, right? 30s and 40s. We can have that happen, So and everything. I mean, here's this. Here's another thing. This is a random video. I didn't even know this was AI when I was watching. I said, well, that's fucking gross. Cat feeding an owner, right? And you can tell, and the one way you can tell with this one kind of is the weird way it drops out of his mouth, right? It kind of like slides weird right here. It still looks like it. See, it looks like his mouth is kind of closed the whole time, right? But and people in the comments are saying that's real love, right? And it says, by the way, this video is AI. The caption is covering up the watermark. That's where Sora would be, all right? Because on the videos of Sora,
Zins on a live. How about Ronald Reagan opening
well, I guess it's usually right there,
packs
but
of Pokemon cards? How about this? Mr. Rogers interviewing Tupac.
see, I guess it's usually right there. So, and people are talking about it. It says, this AI fooled me. AI looking a bit too real. It says, damn, I fell for it. Same. This person said, the one thing I've realized is the easiest way to tell something is AI if it's something we've never seen before or it's just so ridiculous it's probably not going to happen. That's just not the case, though, all right, because we've seen Garrus attacks. We've seen people do certain things, right? So it wouldn't be out of the realm, and especially when you get somebody mad, all right, they're not going to be, looking into the fine details. Okay, this person says, I know it's AI, but a mouse to the mouth still grosses me out. It says AI is too good. The only way for me to tell it apart is the video is too absurd to be real. You know what I mean? and says, "Yeah, what a fucking world." I'm just gonna. This person says, "I'm gonna swear off the internet eventually because it's even what he is even the point anymore. Everything is fake as fuck." So yeah, man. And like I said, I've been in a point where with neo-Ludditism, all right, or being a neo-Luddite, all right. And I don't really like too much shit after a certain point in time. I won't say I'm like a full Luddite, like I refuse. But new technologies I usually reject. All right, I'm not fucking with them. All right, with the ones we got are already completely fine. Um, there's no reason for phones to get faster or smarter. Why? What could we possibly need to do? All right, phones used to be phones. Now they're fucking everything. You check everything. Phones used to be to quick message someone else, and now they become everything. All right, fucking cheating, women cheating on the go, showing pictures of their ass, sneaking on it, all that. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, and it's only caused societal harm. Okay, and then I haven't heard her yet. All right, and like I said, I don't want to play too much because it is Sabbath, but for the sake of the lesson, I'm going to go check it out. Here's a new thing. Now this is from Black People Twitter, and it says Zania Monette becomes the first AI generated artist to be the top one most added at a U.S. radio format, sharing 12 ads at R&B #1. So this person says, "It's not lost on me that they're doing this in R&B first. The genre they claim isn't profitable, that they can't market. The genre full of so many deserving black women hustling with beautiful pens and real voices." So Zania Monette. So I'm gonna go and try to it says, "Never in my life did I ever think I would see AI generated artists as if there aren't real people out there making music." And it's gotten to the point where you can do anything. I mean, you can go to AI music generator and Suno, right? And I'm gonna show you something. And because I've used this program before just to make funny little things, I'm gonna sign up, right? And we're gonna sign up with a well, now they want you to do it in a million different ways. Let me go and see. Bear with me. Let me pause. I want to show you something. Lord willing. All right, so we're back. So remixing, no, thank you. Whatever. So you can see I've made stuff before. Like medieval shit. All right, just fun little songs. So I'm gonna go ahead and use version 4. 4 is pro now. All right, we'll use 3 or 4. So I'm gonna go and do a country song with a grizzled male outlaw style singer singing about how they ran out of peaches at the store, so he's going to kick the manager's ass. Now, kick all the employees that work their asses. Alright? And you can go and do I don't want to add lyrics, but persona, don't want to do that. Advanced options, gender, male, create. Right? I'm gonna show you. It's not even gonna take that long. All right, and they're gonna give a V5 preview. Like I said, I don't like playing a whole bunch of stuff on Sabbath, but I want to show you what is really capable. All right, out there. All right, and for you brothers and sisters, really to be what's the scripture? I have it for the end, but we'll get it again at the end. But really, what needs to be done right now is look. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And he's trying to fuck with people's minds, man. And you can't believe anything you see. You can't believe anything you hear. The AI, you know, before AI used to sound all choppy, all right, when in songs, all right. There used to be, for example, like I said, I don't want to show a whole bunch of stuff, but like I said, in the sake of the lesson, AI song, right? Funny. And there's a certain brand. So let's see. I live with roaches. So watch. I don't know if these guys are using the updated version, but let's see.
I live with roaches, about 10 of them. We now.
Oh, but
Well, I woke up early.
so now they're using the ones that are better. But here's one. Here's one from 9 months ago. This is what it used to sound like.
Feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, When the hell they learn to drive? Jive turkeys at my job, about to get a cool, cold, mean five. Should've took the day off.
And I think this was a remake. I think it was a remake because the first one I've heard. Let me see. 1 year ago. Okay, check this one out.
See that lady in the fur coat walking through that door. She's got a sharp haircut, and we're about to close the store. She's making
You can hear how it's like it's ramping up in weird points. You can tell it sounds weird.
a beeline for the service desk, but she's about to receive a reality check. Cause
So you can see, but it's gotten to the point where it's way better than that. So let's go and see. Let's go and check the V3.5 version, right?
how they ran out of peaches at the winter wheel round. Going loud how they ran out of peaches at the winter wheel round.
Kind of glitching.
The wheel round, how they ran out of peaches at the winter wheel round.
So it's kind of glitched out. Let's see this version.
Ever about how they ran out of peaches at the peaches. Ready? Ever about how they ran out of peaches.
Right? So let's try the V5. Let's see. And in V3.4, I think I used the V4 one that was better with some of the other ones, but so V5, I'm expecting this to sound completely normal. It already pays attention to the prompt better, all right, with Outlaw Country.
There's a boy traveling all around a night in any town on the Bowery side. Daddy said he hold bowing and living all around. Those are just can't keep it wide. I didn't even know that can definitely never back my own eye. That I'm on my way to the heaven on there.
See, the thing is, it's getting weird. Let me show you something. I made this a while ago, right? And this is V4, and it's kind of glitching out. And I wonder if it's because, let me try something. I just saw Outlaw singing about how they ran out of peaches at the grocery store. So he's going to kick all the employees that work there. Well, let me spell everything right. There's asses. So, see if we can find it. Used to be a way to, try it that way. So he's gonna fight all the employees since they did him wrong. Yeah, so there's probably a little bit of a glitch that happened with the other ones. But while we're doing that, let's go and check out Zania Monet. Alright. I'm sorry if it's all over the place. I just want to bring it to your attention. Alright, about, the type of things that can really go down. Okay? So let's listen to her and then we'll come back. Or actually, some of these are already ready to go. This one, you see it's already created a couple different versions. So let's listen. Oh, yep, and this one. See, this one's gonna sound a little bit more like AI, but it's got the audio, the lyrics. So this one worked. The other one glitched.
Into that dusty store, boots heavy on the ground. Looking for a summer sweetness, the juicy peachy sound. Shelves were bare, not a single one in sight.
So yeah, it sounds glitchy, right? But I bet the new ones won't.
I walked into that dusty store, boots heavy on the ground. Looking for a summer sweetness, that juicy peachy sound. Shelves were bare, not a single one in sight.
So you can see it has that weird, and I mean, some older people get confused by that one. They're like, what is that effect that they're using on the way? They might think it's an effect. All right, really, that's just showing it's kind of glitchy. But I bet these new ones, V5 now, I bet these ones won't.
I walked in with a craving, a hunger to feed, a ripe little promise, a sweet summer need. But the shelf stood barren, no fuzz, no gold, just a sign reading sorry, like it had a soul. Empty crates, empty hearts, this is where my trouble starts. No peaches in the aisle, no mercy in my stride. They did me wrong, now the wrong can't hide out. I walk her to feed, a ripe little promise, a sweet summer need. But the shelf stood barren, no fuzz, no gold, just a sign reading sorry like it had a soul. Empty crates, empty hearts, this is where my trouble starts. No peaches in the aisle, no mercy in my stride.
You wouldn't be able to tell that was AI. You wouldn't have been able to tell. The other ones, that I don't know when they released V5, because when I was fucking around, it was V4, but V5 now, there ain't no way you're telling. Let's go and listen to a song that she had made.
But I've been bleeding since a child from a wound I can't fix. One day I had a daddy, the next day I didn't. And the world kept turning, but mine just didn't.
So yeah, man, and you can input custom lyrics. Like I made one that had custom lyrics and stuff. So I went through all that to show you, not to just play music on Sabbath or whatever. I mean, it's not anything that would be particular jamming out to, but it's just for, example. While the old versions of the songs, you could tell it was AI, the new versions, you cannot tell that it's AI. The old versions of the videos, you can tell that's AI. The new versions, It's almost impossible. There might be a few slip-ups here, but that it's AI. All right, and it's the same thing. If you remember generating AI photos, back a couple years ago, they would have weird missing fingers. If you generate a video that they don't a photo now, they don't miss fingers, right? The video seems to have problems with sometimes fingers slipping, but mind you, when that video was made, all right, the Sora 2 hadn't came out yet. All right, and Trump's ass is so dumb. He's probably not just using the regular. He was probably using the regular Sora. Someone on his team had another site. They didn't check it over, right? So in the coming days, months, weeks, just be very careful about what you see. All right, if you watch it, maybe watch it twice, right? Maybe look and see if there's any weird things going on with the face, weird things going on with the voice. It's really hard with music because it might sound like it's just an effect. But I recommend everybody try to get acquainted with the telltale signs of AI. AI video, not Sora 2, and just get acquainted, right? Let's see. People are already talking about it getting too real. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. They can replicate anything. They can make whole SpongeBob episodes.
This is not on the menu! Boy, you call that scary? I've seen dryer lint more terrifying than that costume.
I'm still workshopping the screen parts.
Well, workshop faster or I'm...
Ow! You okay, Mr. Krabs?
So there they were, scrolling and scrolling, eyes glazed like day-old chum. And just when they thought they'd reached the end of the feed, bam! Another endless loop of dancing clams.
Clams?
Behold, me secret stash, the souls of the Krusty Krab.
Wow, Mr. Krabs, they're so pretty. Are they seasonal?
They're, on sale.
Best sale ever! Every night it's the same thing. First Mr. Krabs jumps out of a closet, then Squidward pops up out of nowhere. It's like they take turns scaring me. You'd think a guy could wash dishes in peace. Okay, so... we're definitely, officially, absolutely in a creepy treasure cave with a single candle. Classic bad idea energy. Love it. Wow. Get back here right now! What is this stuff?
Oh, hey, SpongeBob, that was my goon juice.
Goon juice.
So yeah, you see it, right? Because why does it feel like we're looking at deleted scenes that don't even exist? So yeah, man, it says it's scary how much this looks like the actual show. This was not SpongeBob, right? These aren't in episodes.
Ghost ever. Uh-oh.
Feels like the ghost sneezed on me.
That's not part of the costume.
It's warm.
Boo!
It does the voices, it does the video, art style, everything. The grain, right? Down to the grain that has that signature early 2000s art style, man. Everything, right? Everything. It looks, you would not be able to tell. You would not be able to tell. You wouldn't. There's no way you could, right? So, I mean, if this was on TV...
Bigger! They're busting out of me sockets! And me tongue gun! It's growing boils! Oh, I'm turning into something hideous!
Alright.
Wait, that's not the clam.
See, and that's a Family Guy joke that could legitimately happen, right? What I'm trying to say is that, look, it's the days of, we can tell what's AI, and it's pretty much over, man. It's pretty much over. So I'm sure there will be subtle varieties to look for and see, but it's getting real hard out there. And like the title says, E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool. So like the guy was saying, they're going to use this for court footage. Oh, you did something. See, you went and you hurt this person. I didn't do that. No, I didn't. Well, why do we have this video that shows that you did? Well, I didn't do that. And you sung about doing it in a song. I don't even sing. Well, is this not your voice? Is this not you singing this song right here? Said you were going to kill him? That ain't me. I didn't do it. Oh, all right. So, yeah, the song that you made with your voice wasn't you, and this video of you isn't you either, right? Yeah. How about this photo of you in the act? I bet that's not you either. It's not. Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure. You see this, Your Honor? He's on, and now he's lying. think it ain't gonna go so well. He's gonna use this to his advantage, man. So any events that you see of things with the bling blow, all right, people getting blipped, all right. Who knows? Hell, who knows, man? Who knows if that fucking I won't say that because people were actually there. I was gonna say, who knows if the the Captain Kirk video was even real? All right, who knows at this point? All right, who knows? So, and I think it was, but I mean, maybe would you start, thinking, makes you really think, was it? Was it not? I mean, there was real people there. So, how many people recall it? I haven't seen a whole bunch of people talking out that really, were actually physically there. Maybe it was there and, they had a little packet go off, but the footage made it look worse than it was and added extra effects on because the effects wasn't so good. And they really, they layered. Who fucking knows, man? That's the thing. It's just the point where you can't trust your initial reaction. Okay? You can't trust your initial reaction. And the scary thing, I don't even want to put that out there, but, the scary thing is what if, okay, I'll put it out there because, look, at the end of the day, we're going to know how to discern between people anyway. What if they already have people doing shit like GMS Syria, all right? GMS Syria doesn't exist. There's not a GMS Syria, right? But there's accounts titled that, and there's these, these people, these agents, these paid-off agents that'll go and make videos acting like they're, Hebrew Israelites, but they'll say some crazy, outrageous shit. Who's to say now they can't just have an AI, Bible teacher, right? That says some crazy fucking shit, right? And know what they can do on top of that? They can have a bunch of fake likes, right? And a bunch of fake subscribers and a bunch of fake comments because the fucking dead internet theory is already existent, man. They can have a bunch of bots on the comment board that aren't even real talking. I agree with this. Yeah, we should do this, brother. And then make it. Yeah, we do hate white people. We do need to go out and attack them, right? Or say some shit like that. Launching some type of a fucking offense, right? Launching an offense, all right? And a strike, right? Launching a strike on the white nation. These guys are launching a strike against the white people. And, these people are going to be so racist and mad that they're not going to even pay attention to the guy having 3 fingers. They're not going to even know, maybe he lost the fingers. I don't know what happened. Well, what about the video where you had 4? And now he has 3, maybe, there's not even a scar. Well, look, I don't know. All I know is they're trying to kill the white race. Oh my God, man. This shit, man, I can't wait to get out of this place. I can't wait to get out of this place. All right, and I know y'all brothers and sisters feel the exact same. So look, this is why you can't trust nothing. You can't trust anything that Esau says. Well, before you couldn't trust him. Now you really can't trust him. Okay? Well, I showed you a video of this person. No, I don't believe it. All right, I don't believe it. If I see a video of if I see a video with people that I know, all right, or how do I want to word it? If I see a video of people that I watch, all right, that preach, all right, the brothers, and all of a sudden they're acting fucking weird, I'm gonna assume it's AI. All right, I'm gonna assume it's AI. If they're saying, "Hey, brothers, you know what you should do? Go and get a big sword." I'm not. What the fuck? Nah. Nope. This got to be AI. All right, that brother won't act like that. All right, and I don't. If I, and I'm sure the apostles, they keep tabs on every brother, right? That's out there, so they would know if that person actually said something like that. They get in contact. Hey, man, is this you? What's going on here? Right? So you never know, man. So I think a while ago, was it a street teacher, Elder Menachazabba down in GMS, South Carolina? I think he said, "If you ever seen me in a video doing something crazy," all right, I think he mentioned it. But yeah, same here, man. If you ever see me in a video doing or acting something crazy, it's safe to say that that's probably not me. Lord willing, it ain't me, right? It's probably safe to assume it's not me, right? Doing something all crazy, acting, wild, right? Anybody can make anything, and like I said, just especially, and I could say, oh, if I showed my face more, and I show my face from time to time. I just don't like my ugly ass mug being on the screen. But, I try to show it from time to time so people can see I am a real person. But, I mean, they could already train AI off of my voice, right? They could do that. That's something they could have been done for a while. And they could go and do all these things and just have the AI voice it over. All right, that's something they could do. Look, man. Look, Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You can't trust these devils not to do something as wicked as that, right? You can't trust them not to do something like that because they will do it. They'll absolutely take advantage of any technology to do something evil with it, right? For example, well, not for example, but a scripture, that's not it. What scripture do I want to get? What is it? How's it go? There it is. Micah 2:1. So it says, woe, and woe is destruction, right? Destruction to them. Woe to them that devise iniquity. Iniquity is sin and wickedness. And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It isn't. Let me just start over. I hate when I stumble. It kind of throws the whole thing off. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. There we go. Allah Yahweh Shem Shai. So, these people devise iniquity, and they work evil upon their beds. Why? Well, it tells you in the last little part, because it's in the power of their hand. They can do it, therefore, they do it. All right? It is not outside of the realms of possibility. So they do it. If they can be evil, they will be evil. All right? If they can diddle little kids, they will diddle little kids. All right? If they can make people disappear, they will make people disappear. If they can make fake AI videos and AI audio, they will make fake videos and AI videos and fake AI audio. They will do it. I mean, you can't, again, never trust thine enemy. All right, never trust thine enemy. So don't trust them not to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. It's fundamental. It's a fact. Okay, and I don't have anything to prove it to you yet, but it is a fact. All right, and I'd be willing to put money on it that at some point in time, these fucking devils are going to use this technology to go and do something evil with it and bear false witness on someone else. All right, which, mind you, is a sin in its own. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit if it's a sin. They could give a fuck less. They don't care about sin. They don't care about the Lord. Matter of fact, if you said it's a sin, they probably jump for fucking joy and high five each other because they're doing something wicked against the Lord, because they're a bunch of fucking slimy little snake ass pieces of shit. Right? That's who these Edomites are. Right? And that's the type of shit they're gonna do. All right? So when a snake bites, you can't fucking be surprised. All right? When a snake does snake shit. All right? When the devil does devilish shit, you can't be fucking surprised at the devil. What'd you think them to do? Something good? No. A devil's gonna do devilish shit. All right? A dog's gonna fucking bark. A snake's gonna bite. That's what they do. All right? A cat's gonna meow. Right? So when these devils go and do some devilish shit, we can't be surprised if they're doing some fucking devilish shit. They're the devil. That's how they act, man. Right? So, hell, man, I lost my train of thought. I got so irritated. But yeah, man, they can, therefore they will. Right? Oh, bear false witness. I like getting Proverbs 19:5 or 9, the ones that actually talk about, because a lot of people know, thou shalt not bear false witness. A lot of people, where is that anywhere in here? We can get it right here in Exodus. All right. A lot of people know the commandment in Exodus 20:16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Right? And I like that. It's a great scripture. Right? But I like getting Proverbs because Exodus is great, right? It's perfect. It's a great scripture. All scripture is great. All scripture is edifying. But I like getting ones that talk about the consequence if you do. So thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. But what if you do? What's the punishment? Right? What happens if you do? Well, you can get Proverbs 19:5 or 19:9. I like 9 personally is my favorite out of the two because it's harsher, right? It's harsher. Proverbs 19:5, they're both great though, like I said. One's not over the other. I just, have a preference, right? Everybody has their preferences. Doesn't make one thing wrong. But Proverbs 19:5 says, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape, right? Escape what? Escape what? Judgment. Proverbs 19:9, it says, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. That's why I like that one. That's my favorite out of the two, because it doesn't leave anything for the imagination or people to filibuster. All right, so you can get Exodus, and people say, "Oh yeah, I know you shouldn't do it." Well, yeah, but what if you do? Well, if you do, and it's no, if you do, the Lord's gonna kill you. Well, no, the Lord's gonna kill you. And then if I get Proverbs 19:5, they say, "Oh, well, you're not gonna escape. You won't escape from certain things." No, Proverbs 19:9, a false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall perish. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna die. You're gonna perish. You're gonna die. You're gonna pass away. That's it. All right. That's it. Not saying, that any of the other scriptures are wrong, but I always like the ones that people can't argue with, right? Because, and I mean, sometimes the ones that they can argue with are fun, too, because then, they just make an ass out of themselves. They look like a fucking idiot. So, I mean, it's to each their own. Everybody's going to have their favorite scriptures. Doesn't mean any of the scriptures are wrong. We just, have a, a disposition, not disposition, I think that's a negative, inclination, all right, for certain scriptures, all right. Steak and chicken's good. Some people prefer the chicken better, right? Some people like steak better, right? I'm a steak guy myself, right? So Genesis 3:1 says, now the serpent, and this is about Esau, all right, because that same serpent-like spirit, that same serpent, all right, is how the Esau is. That same spirit is in Esau. So Genesis 3:1, it says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath Yahweh said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden, right? And that's when, he started with that deceiving of Eve, all right? And again, he started with the woman because woman's more easily deceived, okay? And, so that's what, he started on this. Let me guess. Yahweh probably said, "Oh, if you eat some of this tree, you'll probably die," or something ridiculous like that, right? He says those things. Did he say something like that? Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, he did say that. Yeah, I knew. That's just like him. It's just if you eat that, you're not gonna die. Let's be real. You're not gonna die. You could eat that right now, and you're not gonna die. Go ahead, take a bite. You're not gonna die. I promise you, you're not gonna take a bite, right? And Eve, being deceived, took a bite. She's like, wait a minute. I didn't die. See, I told you. He does that stuff sometimes, right? You didn't die. But what she doesn't realize, and well, they didn't realize until later, is like, yeah, it wasn't that you ate the apple and it killed you. The fact is that death came through that. All right, through her we all die. Okay, through the woman, sin came to the earth, and through her we all die. Roughly paraphrasing, right? That's when death became a thing. Okay, after that, because that was the transgression, right? Separation, okay? And now death occurs because of that reaction, okay? And she didn't die right then and there, right? Doesn't, so she, lived for a time being, right? They lived for a time being, however long that was. And, died eventually when they would have never died. They would have never died. So when Yahweh said, oh, don't do any of that, all right, in death, mentioned death, it's not that eating the apple would physically kill you. You would pass away as soon as you bit into it like a poison. Oh, you clump over and die. No, it's the fact that you couldn't die before, and now that you've ate that, you've brought death upon you. Now you have something known as death. Okay? Now you don't live eternally. Now you have death. All right? Well, now that's going to be taken away in the kingdom. We're not going to have death, and we're not going to taste death as Israelites. Right? But the heathens still will. But yeah, that's all from eating that apple, man. And that's that same serpent-like being, that same spirit that was in the serpent is on Esau. All right? That's how Esau is. It's that same thing from the serpent to Cain, right? To Esau, and on to Esau's grandchildren. All right? So, the That's just how it is. You know, Amalek and all the generations, you know, of Esau and who they are. That's just how they are. That same serpent-like spirit, that serpentine spirit is in them. Okay? And it talks about them being subtle or subtle. All right, however you want to pronounce it. Subtle, subtle. All right, so it goes back to the word. Where are we in German? Why the fuck are we in German? No, not German. Try it again. Okay. Subtle is an archaic and now obsolete spelling of the word subtle. All right, I guess in Germany they still use it that way. It shares the same meanings, which include being delicate, fine, or thin, acute, all right, insightful, most commonly, or more commonly, crafty, cunning, in a skillful way that is not obvious. It's not obvious what they're doing is inherently bad, and that's how they get away with a lot of things. No, he's not. You know, you guys are just demonizing him. We're demonizing him because he's a fucking demon. All right, you know, that's like saying, "Oh, you're felining a cat." Well, that's because it's a fucking feline. Don't canine the dog, right? Well, no, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to demonize the demon. All right, I'm going to demonize the demon, feline the cat, and canine the dog because that's what they are. All right, demonizing the demon. All right, you know, call a spade a spade. That's actually a racist term, right? That they like to use for us. All right, that has you know, roots in slavery. All right, but you know, use Esau's terminology. They'll get that means. Call a spade, right? So that's, you know, that's how it goes, right? You know, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, must be a duck. If it acts like a demon, right, behaves like a demon, breathes like a demon, does demonic shit, then guess what? Must be a fucking demon. All right, they're demonic. All right, so yes, it's very easily to demonize someone who's demonic because they're demonizing themselves by being demonic. They're demonic. They're a demonic being. All right, Esau is a demonic being. They are filled with demons. They love demons. They worship demons. They worship Satan. They sacrifice children. They hate God. All right, the power. All right, whose real name is Yahweh. All right, they hate his son. All right, his only begotten son, whose real name is Yahushai. All right, they hate Yahweh. They hate Yahushai. They hate any followers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They hate anything to do with the Bible. They hate the Israelites. And they love evil and wickedness. That's a fucking demon. They're demons. They are demons. Okay? Ecclesiasticus 5 and 15. Alright, here we are. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Don't be ignorant about how fucking demonic these guys are. Don't be ignorant about how likely they are to use tools like this that could be used for good. Alright? We're bad. They're not gonna, we see them, we think, oh man, you know, we could use that for good. You know, the first thing I wanted to do, alright, is I thought, what should I really put into this? Right? What do I want to see in this video? And I wanted to see, you know, a big chariot with, you know, our people, all right, the Hebrew Israelites gathered underneath, hopefully looking up, all right, as people in the back that didn't trust the Lord and didn't trust, you know, what the prophets were saying through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are screaming around in the background while buildings are running around on fire, all right, and chariots in the background. You know, it's Salvation Day. That's what I want to see. Esau over here, first thing they think is, what can I do? What can I do? How can I make someone look like they said something that they didn't do? Right? That's fucking evil. Right? And I'm not saying if you brothers use it and you wanted to see, I don't know, Tupac, you know, argue with Donald Trump or something. You know, you can do goofy stuff like that. But the difference is, you know, we get a kick out of it. And we're not using it for, you know, malicious purposes. These people out in the world, you know, these Edomites, they see that technology and they say, wow. We could always win in court now, right? We could make people, you know, instantly look evil in court now. We can finally get rid of these Hebrew Israelites. We can finally, you know, make something seem like something happened to them, or they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing. We can make it seem like, you know, look at what these illegals are doing, right? So that's the fucking, you know, and you Southern Kingdom, so like it, you Northern Kingdom, there's gonna be, you guys are gonna have a mass awakening. All right, there's going to be a mass awakening. All right, and it's you know, because right now, you know, you see a lot of the melanated individuals that look like so-called Negroes. And it's not to say that there's not Northern Kingdom among them, because there is a lot of Gad. Right, a lot of Gad. A lot of you so-called Negroes are actually, you think you're Judah, but you're actually Gad. All right. Same with you Ishkarites. A lot of you were Gad too. There's a lot of, you don't see, well, Native Americans, they kind of disappeared. Where they got assimilated into other people. All right. If you want to know where a Native American is, look at the Mexicans. Look at the Mexicans, so-called, man. I'm telling you, I used to live in Arizona. They look very similar to a so-called Mexican. All right. But they're a little bit different, all right. They're sometimes it can be a little on the chunkier side, all right. They're you can tell in their hair grows in a very specific way, all right. It's in the eyes and the eyebrows and the jaw and the nose, all right. They look similar to a so-called Mexican, but you can tell they're different, all right. You can tell they're different, and hey, man, they are brothers, man. They're our brothers, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're all brothers, man. We're all one as Israelites. All right, the Lord's chosen people. So we're gonna end up looking like each other, because we're around each other. We're the Lord's people. So you might have a little Judite girl that sees a little Gadite man. All right, and that Gadite man pops that Judite woman, and now they got a baby that looks just like a Judite, but it's actually just a Gadite, and that can happen. That can happen, and then vice versa, and put any which way. It can even happen to the heathen nations. You can have a white dad, all right, an Edomite, all right, and for the most part, the white people are Edomites, but not every single one is. It's not definitive, all right. We talk about that from time to time. So don't get it twisted, all right? Because you're saying white people are all Edomites. Not all white people are Edomites. I'm a so-called white person, right? I'm not an Edomite. Okay, there's plenty of I've seen people in camp out there that are also so-called white people. They're not Edomites. All right, not everybody that looks white is Edomite, but most people that look white are Edomites. Okay, can't you understand that? Right? So most bananas you get are going to be good, but every once in a while you get a rotten one. Right? That's just how it works. All right, it's not the usual, right? But it can happen, right? So yeah, man, you're gonna have that, but I kind of trailed off and lost my thought. But yeah, man, don't be ignorant of anything like that. Right? Don't be ignorant of anything like that. And that's the thing that we want to see. We want to see it used for good things. You see the brothers. We use it to look up scriptures. Because sometimes like King James Bible Online. Hell, this search ain't worth a heck half the time, right? I won't say hell, all right, because that's just damnation, all right, place of judgment. But and it's still a Bible in a way at the end of the day. So I don't want to put that on it. But the search sucks. All right, the Bible that it holds is great. The search sucks, and half the time I ain't find nothing. But you can find a scripture on AI, a couple words, man. There's been times I screwed it all up, and AI was like, "I think you're thinking of this one." I'm like, "Hell, I was thinking of that one." Call all Yahweh Shemi Shah. I don't know. I went and had it all butchered. had two scriptures mixed together. It'll let you know too. It says, "I think you're thinking of two different scriptures, right?" Or certain things like you'll see Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, and is it Bishop? I always forget that title. Slack you, brother, but Sakaran. All right, when they're down there doing the Apostles live, use that AI. They call it chat. All right, they call it chat. They're like, "Hey, chat." They say, "Hey, chat." Ask chat. He'll be like, "Oh, Apostle Tahar will say, hey, ask chat what this is," and I'll say, "Okay," and they'll go and do that, and that's what we use it for, good things, right? Good things, but Esau, they don't use it for good things, all right? And we should not be ignorant of that fact, and we should not be ignorant of the fact that they're going to use these things for evil, right? Ecclesiasticus 5:15, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." And I could read First Peter 5:8 again, but we already got it. Be sober, be vigilant, all right, because your adversary, devil, walks forth as as a roaring lion, all right, seeking whom he may devour. All right, roughly paraphrase. All right, but that's what he's doing. So we got to be in being sober. So what is sober minded? Okay, because that's what it means by being sober-minded. Okay, sober-minded means having good judgment, sensible, serious thinking, not influenced by intoxication, extreme emotions, overwhelming panic. A sober person remains mentally stable, can clearly assess situations, and responds thoughtfully and calmly rather than rashly or impulsively. All right, so free of intoxicating influences. And drunken by the the wine of this world is another one of that. All right, don't be intoxicated by that. All right, or thinking oh well, we all love each other. We all just we're all gonna get together and just hold hand. No, Esau hates you, man. He might hold your hands for a minute, but he's gonna fucking chop off your fingers in the next second. So don't do it. All right, and ultimately, I'll use ultimately double, but eventually E will use AI as the ultimate deception tool. He's already doing it, but eventually you're gonna see more and more of this shit roll out. Um, you know, so just stay prayed up, man. Stay watching. Stay vigilant. All right, like it says, be sober, be vigilant. All right, be on your P's and Q's. Stay prayed up. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Shemi Shai. All right, never trust thine enemy. Right, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Right, and just know that that's what this devil's gonna do. And I mean, just a couple of days ago, a day or so ago, I mean, Apostle Dahar pretty much, pretty much declared that we're already in Jacob's trouble. It started, right? We're in Jacob's trouble now. All right, so we're at the very early stages, mind you, but he pretty much full out declared and said, "Hey, man, this is, that was the title of the lesson. It says that we're in Jacob's trouble." Or I'll go and look at how he titled it, but you got to realize that we're in those days now. All right, we've been approaching it for a while. See, I don't know if this is a brother or not. The Hopeful Elect 3. I don't know who this is. Am I subscribed to this? All praise to how about Shemi? I'm sorry about Gosh, okay. GMS or a GMS associate? Maybe? Seems like they just post a lot of videos, so I don't really know. I don't really know. But that's through the Spirit. Alright, I didn't see this video. Alright, I tell no lies. Alright, I didn't see this video at all. Alright, it was all through the Spirit of when I found, and it's funny that it's the same video. I found that video on Reddit. So that's the Spirit, right? That's the Spirit. So, yeah, the Apostle Gabar, or it's like the Apostle Dahar, put out a lesson titled, right here, one day ago. Jacob's trouble is here. This is an insurrection, right? You've heard a lot. There's this lesson. They shall be like madmen. Jacob's trouble is here, and I actually got to watch that. So, like he said, he pretty much declared Jacob's trouble is here. All right, we're in Jacob's trouble now. So, and serious business, So, good business, great. All right, you might say, oh, a little scary. Look. At the end of the day, if we're elect, we're gonna make it. All right, no time. Worrying about, oh, what if I can't make war? Look, man, you're either gonna make it or you're not. All right, if you're in this truth right now, that's a hell of a good sign. All right, may Yahweh Shemi Shai bless you in your house. May you be part of the elect, Lord willing, as well as I myself in my house. Right. So, but it's good that we're here. It's good that we're prophesying. It's good that we're teaching. It's good that you women are listening. All right, and but you're never gonna stop feeling like you can improve. All right, well, I don't know if I'm ready. You're never gonna get over that feeling. All right, you're never gonna get over that, and you shouldn't. All right, because if you get over that, you're not going to seek to strive and improve and get better. You'll always be seeking to get improved. All right, you can always get better. All right, there's never going to be a point where you're comfortable in this truth and you say, I've done it. All right, you got to realize the Apostle Dahar, Apostle Gabar, they've been in this truth 30 plus years. They're still learning things on a day-to-day basis. All right, if you're to a point where you haven't learned, that's because the Spirit has fallen off of you. All right, you're never going to feel comfortable. You're not supposed to feel comfortable. You're supposed to continue to grow. You're supposed to stay in this truth. All right, so is the Jacob's trouble? Yeah, it's going to be a little scary. All right, and there's going to be scary moments, but at the end of the day, if you have Yahweh Shemi Shai, you're going to be a-okay. All right, like it says, we just talked about it the other day. The name of the Lord, strong tower. All right, the name of the Lord, Proverbs 18 and 10. We'll get this and close out. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. And that name is Yahweh Shemi Shai. So you're going to have that strong tower. All right, and remember, think of the scriptures like, come up hither. All right, and you beheld their enemy, and they ascended they ascended in the sky and beheld their enemies. So, if you're of the elect, you're going to be fine. And look, it's like a Band-Aid. It hurts sometimes when you rip a Band-Aid off, but it's got to come off because if not, it'll fester. Okay, You don't want it to fester. You don't want the wound to fester. So yeah, there's going to be times where we're scary. We might get separated from one another. Lord willing, for the most part, we can stay, with our wives and stuff and our children, right? For the Lord willing, we stay. Some people might get separated. We might have certain situations that happen, right? And I pray that we stay with our families, all right, and have that protection over them as men in this truth, and Lord willing, men of the Lord, and but like I said, there's no time to think about what ifs all the time. All right, I'm hoping. I can't say I expect, because we can't expect anything of the Lord as far as really the only thing we deserve is judgment. But we expecting is expecting to see something because it happened, and we expect Yahweh Shem Yahushua to make good on his word, because he's not a liar. He said he's not. All right, he tells no lies, so we expect him not to lie, because he's not gonna lie. All right. So, and not I expect you're not gonna lie, but it's something that we expect, because we know it. It's expecting. We know it's gonna happen. We know that he's gonna keep his word. So and he loves his people, the chosen, and we're hoping that we're of that, and we're hopeful that we are of that. Hopeful means that what? Let's go and get that first. All right, hopeful. What does it mean to be hopeful? All right, you're always I'm hopeful elect. I'm the hopeful elect. Well, if you're the hopeful elect, you should know what it means to be of the hopeful elect. What does it mean to be hopeful? Hopeful means to filling or inspiring optimism at a future event. Confident, positive, all right? Not 100% confident and assured and expectant. All right, expectant. We're expecting that we are of the elect. We're, being optimistic that we're of the elect. All right, it seems promising, right? It seems favorable, right? It's reassuring. It seems like a pretty good chance that we're of the elect. Lord willing. I wouldn't want to say confident, because we're confident. Confident nowadays is kind of used as as assured in a proud sense, like, oh, I know I'm of the elect. We don't know anything, but we do have optimism, all right, about it. And optimism is what? Hopefulness and confidence about the future of a successful or of the successful outcome of something. So we're hoping on a successful outcome of being of the elect. That's what hopeful elect is. All right, we're hoping we're more than likely part of elect, Lord willing. And I hope I am. I hope you brothers and sisters are as well. That we've been seeing on the comment boards, and have crossed paths and stuff before. And hey, Lord willing, Baba Shah. And yeah, man. So now's not the time to give up the ghost and get all afraid and get all scared and stuff. It's But don't be surprised when you see more stuff. We're waiting for that mark to come out, man. And then we're out. We're ready to get the fuck out of this place. We're ready to get the fuck out of this place. Again, like I said, is it scary a little bit? Yeah. Is it worrying a little bit? Yeah. Anything that we don't know exactly how it's gonna go is gonna be, as human beings, is gonna be, scary. Okay, trying a new food. We're gonna be like, oh, am I gonna like it? Is it gonna be gross? Oh, I don't know if I want it or not. Oh, I don't know. Listen to a song, you kind of like tilt your head and you're like, is this good? Is it gonna be good? I bet it's gonna be bad. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see how it's gonna go. All right, or a movie, right? You're like, oh, I don't. Is this gonna be a waste of time? Is it gonna be a bad movie? Look, anything as the human mind works, all right, anything that is something new and is something that we don't 100% know the outcome of, all right, all the way, and we know Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Yahushua is coming back. We know that the things are gonna happen, but we don't know that if we're gonna be 100% saved or not. So there's always gonna be that a little bit of worry, but you can't let it become a worry that messes you up. All right. It should be a happy worry, not a sad worry. A happy worry, and what I mean by that is, I really hope I make it. Lord willing, not, ooh, what if I don't make it? It should be like, I really hope I make it. I hope I would make it, because after, if I went through all this and I didn't make it, man, I'd be really ashamed. But, that's how you look at it. All right, now, would it, and stop with all that. All right, stop with all that. Lord willing, you're part of the elect. All right. Don't go, what if I'm not? What if you are, though? Right? What if I fall in that puddle? What if you don't? What if the Lord guides you out of that puddle and instead you don't even go nowhere near that puddle? Right? What if that? Stop focusing on the negative, Jake. All right? And I know we focus on the negative when it comes to things of this world, because there's only negatives. What I'm talking about when it comes to salvation, when it comes to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, know that he has mercy. Right? Know that he is greater than you can possibly perceive him to be. Okay? So don't lean into your own understanding and try to impart that upon the Lord. Okay? Because really, that would be a blasphemous thing to do if you really want to get down to it. Right? He knows better than you, so don't try to overthink. Okay? Stop overthinking. All right? Someone needed to hear that because I went on the tirade. So that's where we're going to close out, though, Jake. So, Lord was edifying. All right? Get your mind right. All right? Don't overthink. All right? And keep on praying, keep on serving the Lord, keep on keeping His commandments to the best of His ability, keep on loving the Lord, keep on praying. All right, pray without ceasing, as the Scripture says. All right, keep your mind out, be sober, be vigilant. All right, we know Esau is going to use AI as the ultimate deception tool. Don't be caught off guard when it happens. That's where we close out. Lord was edifying. Again, when he gets all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shai, Shem Dash. I want to say shalom to brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring. Keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.